Alexander the Great, the epic of a Stoic conqueror. Stoicism, key to leadership and resilience. The thunder of hooves echoes across the earth. The battle is about to begin. Alexander the Great watches his army from the hilltop, his gaze unwavering. He is not just a warrior, he is a thinker, a strategist, a man who faces adversity with the serenity of a Stoic. From his childhood, Alexander learned that the mind is mightier than the sword. Aristotle, his teacher, taught him that true power lies in logical thinking, in discipline, in self-mastery. But the world is not forgiving of dreamers. Alexander will face loss, betrayal, titanic challenges, and he will need more than an army to win. What can Stoicism teach him on his journey? What lessons can serve us today? Alexander's story does not begin on the battlefield, it begins in the halls of the academy, where Aristotle instilled in him the importance of self-knowledge. Before commanding legions, before challenging empires, he must conquer his own mind. Aristotle. Alexander, who understands his own mind, can lead nations. A king wields not only the sword, but also rational thought. Thus began his training, not only as a warrior, but as a thinker. He learned that emotion without reason is chaos, that self-discipline is the key to power. But it wouldn't all be philosophical lessons, life would present him with difficult tests that would challenge his convictions. Tragedy strikes without warning. Alexander, barely a young man, loses his father. The world awaits his reaction, revenge, fear. But deep within, Stoic principles take hold. Death is inevitable, pain is an enemy that must be controlled. Alexander. Macedonia will not fall. Not because of this. Here, at this moment, Alexander the Great ceases to be a prince and becomes a leader. And this is just the beginning. The water reflects the sky, but Alexander sees only his destination. He has crossed the Hellespont, leaving Macedonia behind. Now he sets foot on Persian soil. Every step is a challenge, every decision a test of his Stoic mindset. The enemy waits at the Granicus River, confident of his advantage. But Alexander does not hesitate. Stoicism has taught him that fear is nothing more than an illusion, a mental barrier that must be broken down. The storm of steel falls upon them, but Alexander advances without hesitation. His spirit is steady, his mind clear. Like a true Stoic, he faces danger with serenity. With a single movement, he strikes directly at the heart of the enemy army. There is no excessive jubilation, no excessive celebration. Only the certainty that this is the first step toward a greater purpose. Alexander has proven his courage, and in doing so, he has demonstrated that Stoicism is not just philosophy, but a way of life. Thousands of Persian soldiers deploy on the horizon, an overwhelming force, but Alexander does not falter. No matter how large the enemy, Stoicism has taught him that victory depends not on numbers, but on strategy and a cool head. Darius III has relied on his numbers, but Alexander relies on intelligence. Instead of facing the immense Persian force head-on, he decides to attack at a crucial point, the left flank. The Battle of Issus will be the ultimate test of his leadership. The clash of steel, the confusion of combat, but Alexander remains calm, observing every move clearly. In an instant, he finds a weakness, attacks, destabilizes the enemy formation. Amid the chaos, he takes control. The image of Darius abandoning the battlefield becomes a symbol of victory. Alexander has defeated the ruler of an empire, but he does not celebrate arrogantly. The battle has been just one more step on his path. Alejandro. Victories aren't the end, just the beginning of new challenges. It's not enough to conquer lands, you have to know how to govern them. Alexander the Great didn't want to be just a conqueror, he wanted to be a leader who united East and West. In every city he captured, in every territory he integrated, he demonstrated Stoicism in its purest form, virtue as the supreme goal. Unlike other conquerors, Alexander didn't impose his culture by force. He learned, listened, and integrated. Stoic philosophy taught him that true strength lies not in imposition, but in adaptation, in respect for the conquered peoples. Alexander. I am nothing without you. Every victory is yours as much as it is mine. Alexander understood the role of the soldier, their sacrifice, their daily struggle. For a leader, gratitude is not just a gesture, it is a bond that strengthens the army. As a true Stoic, he recognized that power should not be clung to out of selfishness, but used wisely. With every act of gratitude, Alexander cemented his loyalty. He ruled not with fear, but with respect. But the journey wasn't over yet, new challenges awaited him. The Persian Empire has fallen, but Alexander does not stop. The horizon still stretches beyond. In his mind, the conquest of India is the next great challenge. But each step is more difficult than the last. The heat scorches, resources are scarce, men hesitate. Here, the true test of Stoicism begins. General. The men are weary, my lord. How far must we advance? Alexander. The path we travel is not defined by distance, but by our will. In Stoicism, it is not about controlling externals, but about controlling how we react to them. Alexander understands that discouragement is his most dangerous enemy. With words of inspiration, with iron leadership, he forges ahead. Not all will endure the test. Some will fall, others will want to give up. But the army keeps moving forward. The fight is not only against the enemy, but against fatigue itself, against fear, against doubt. The message is clear: if his army suffers, he suffers with them. Like a true Stoic, Alexander does not demand sacrifices he himself is not willing to make. Every battle leaves scars, but Alexander continues forward. He has conquered Persia, crossed deserts, faced unimaginable challenges, but there is still one more enemy: time. Here, in the battle against King Porus, Alexander will face not only an army, but his own limits. The discipline he has cultivated, the mental strength he has built, will be his greatest weapon. The storm of steel and fire descends upon the field. The war elephants advance, the soldiers retreat, but Alexander holds his ground. The key is not to react with fear, but to adapt with intelligence. Victory comes, but Alexander does not celebrate with euphoria. Stoic wisdom has taught him that every triumph is only a new beginning. After the battle, his army is weary, his empire is vast, and the road back is inevitable. Alexander. I have conquered a world, but have I conquered my destiny? He has conquered empires, crossed deserts, faced formidable enemies, but now Alexander returns to Babylon. Not as the young warrior he once was, but as a leader consumed by questions only philosophy can answer. The world knows him as the greatest conqueror, but Alexander wonders if he has truly conquered what matters most, himself. Alexander. I have conquered lands, but have I mastered my destiny? Here, in his final days, Alexander faces the harshest truth: time waits for nothing, life is fleeting. As the Stoics taught, every leader must accept their mortality and find peace in their legacy. With his last breath, Alexander does not speak of his victories, nor of the territories he conquered. He leaves only one lesson: what truly matters is not how much you possess, but how you live. Stoicism taught us to face life with wisdom, to accept what we cannot change, and to act with virtue. Alexander the great conqueror, leaves us with an eternal lesson: true power resides in the minds and hearts of those who challenge their own destiny.